Alvarez on Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Welcome to Rogers Center. The roof is open. It's been a while since we've had open air baseball here at Rogers Center, but it's a gorgeous night, and Blue Jays are anxious to build on this mini 2-game win streak. A lot of excitement around BP this afternoon as Charlie Sheen came out, took some batting practice, and then he delivers the first pitch a la Rick Vaughn. Wild thing. And again, he's a little bit wild, but Ricky Romero brings it in. Charlie Sheen's in town to support Joe Carter in his charity golf event, and he was really a good sport. Met with both sides, White Sox and the Blue Jays, both got a chance to say hello to Charlie Sheen, and obviously big celebrity here supporting Joe Carter.
Comes out to take batting practice, and he doesn't get to do it in a quiet fashion like so many guys. He comes out, and the media and everybody just surrounding the cage, watching his every move, and I would imagine that was full of pressure.
Henderson Alvarez is all set to take on the Chicago White Sox. Good game last night. Blue Jays won in 11, 3-2. Robin Ventura's ball club scuffling a bit to score runs, but Adam Dunn is doing his fair share. Top of the order, Alejandro Diaz, a former Blue Jay. Dwayne Wise just picked up on the White Sox, who's in left field. Alex Rios, also formerly with the Blue Jays. Adam Dunn, big night last night. Pair of home runs. Kevin Youkilis and A.J. Pierzynski's got a 14-game hit streak. That's the longest active hit streak in the big leagues. He's hit 373 over that time. 2 doubles, 7 home runs, and 17 RBIs. He is truly having a career season. Ramirez Viciedo and Gordon Beckham are set to take on Henderson Alvarez.
And the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays, Henderson Alvarez, 22-year-old Venezuelan, making his 23rd start of the year, 33rd of his career. Lost his last couple of starts and may have had his worst start in that last outing at Tampa Bay. His strikeout totals are down this year, while his home runs are alarmingly high. Does a good job containing the running game. Behind Alvarez, defensively for the Blue Jays this evening, we've got some speed in the outfield. Rajay Davis in left. Mike McCoy gets that start in center field. A guy who's been all over the place defensively for the club. Moises Sierra in right. Around the infield, left to right. Echeverria again at third base. Escobar, Johnson, and Cooper. Mathis behind the plate. And Mike McCoy is that one guy you want to keep your eye on. A guy who did some fine work for the club last year in playing at shortstop, can play at second and third. We know that, but he plays in the outfield. And with his speed, does a nice job at center.
Kobe Rasmus still bothered by that groin strain. He's hopeful of getting into the lineup and may, in fact, DH tomorrow against the White Sox. Of course, he had a great game earlier in this season, a 5-for-5 game in Chicago, including a home run. Alejandro Diaz will lead things off, and he had a rough night last night. He struck out 4 times. He was 0 for 5 on the night. Overall, the White Sox had 16 strikeouts last night. That's a season high. First pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike. Diaz for the season batting .283. Last time out, as Alan mentioned, he may have had his worst start of the season. Went 4 1/3, gave up 11 hits, and Henderson Alvarez just didn't have a good fastball. Tonight it looks to be a little bit better, at least early on.
A guy that can light up the radar gun at times, but a guy that also has had that tendency of leaving that fastball up right through the heart of the plate a lot this year, and it's resulted in a lot of home runs against.
Ground ball. Kelly Johnson took a step to his right. He'll throw out Diaz. That's a good start for Alvarez.
And that scouting report, it's brought to you by Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners. And we talk about Henderson Alvarez and that fastball. Throws it primarily, tries to sink it, get it down in the strike zone. Even with that pitch grounded to second base, you saw it up. He goes to the slider now more than the change, but the change was the pitch that was his key second pitch last year.
Here's a first pitch strike to Dwayne Wise. Wise was picked up after the Yankees designated him for assignment. Yankees traded for Ichiro Suzuki, and Wise became expendable. Wayne Wise is a good backup player. Of course, he has a history with the White Sox. You see his numbers for his career, in total of 502 games. Another ground ball. This time a little further to his right. Kelly Johnson throws out last. 2 ground ball outs to start the ball game.
Henderson's getting the ground ball despite the fact that he has that sinker up in the strike zone, and that's a very dangerous pitch.
So Alex Rios gets his usual welcome here at Rogers Center. He is viewed by the Blue Jays fans. Rios is having a career season, a real bounce back year for him, hitting .314. Alvarez is ahead again with a first pitch strike. How about Kelly Johnson? 3 ground balls in the first. Good start for Alvarez. Didn't take many pitches, just 9. He retires the Sox in order. Davis, McCoy, and Encarnacion. Edwin is the DH again tonight. David Cooper was the hero in last night's game. He had that RBI walk-off base hit in the 11th. You know, Escobar is the shortstop. Moises Sierra in his last 8 games, he's got 11 for 28. Double home run and 2 RBIs, and he hit his first big league home run last night against the former Cy Young Award winner Jake Peavy. Kelly Johnson, Jeff Matheson, Adeiny Echeverria round out the Blue Jays lineup.
And on the mound for the White Sox, left-hander Jose Quintana. He's 23 years of age and hails from Colombia, making his 14th start of the year now in the big leagues, and it's his first year in the big leagues. 4-2 on the season, fine ERA and WHIP. Strikes out just under 5 per 9 innings and seldom walks anybody. And he's been released by the Mets and granted free agency by the Yankees already.
And he has done a nice job starting for the White Sox. Throws a first pitch that misses downstairs. He's 4-2 this season with a .278 ERA. Rajay Davis went 0 for 5 in the game last night. There's a fastball strike. Blue Jays saw Quintana back in Chicago on June 6th. Pitched a pretty good ball game. Allowed just 2 runs through 6 innings. Davis gets a leadoff base hit. So Rajay Davis is aboard with nobody out.
Rajay Davis is a guy that has taken huge advantage of some opportunities this year. Made probably the greatest catch in this ballpark, certainly during a regular season game recently, and now swinging the bat very well.
So Davis always a threat to steal. He has 33 steals this season. Mike McCoy can handle the bat. A lot of options for the Blue Jays. Davis bluffed a break at first. McCoy showed bunt. They can do a lot of things here. They can play hit and run. Mike McCoy is confident to hit the 2 strikes. He can take a strike or 2.
Don't know with Rajay if you really think hit and run or if you think just go ahead and cut him loose.
Situation's probably a little bit better just to let him run. Only been caught 8 times.
He steals second base, and McCoy's still at the plate. You can let Mike drop down a bunt, maybe hit something on the ground on the right side.
Quintana's done a pretty good job neutralizing the running game. He's caught 3 of the 7 base stealers that have attempted to steal against him. McCoy bunts it right off home plate. Pierzynski goes to second. They get the lead runner. So McCoy didn't do a very good job of getting that bunt down. It hit right off home plate and popped up as if it were on a tee for A.J. Pierzynski.
It's probably the easiest way to get Rajai, and but don't know that I buy into that bunt scenario. Defensively, for the Chicago White Sox, in the outfield, left to right, Dwayne Wise, Diaz in center, and Alex Rios, who played very well defensively last night in the infield. Kevin Youkilis, Alexi Ramirez, Gordon Beckham, and Adam Dunn. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate tonight at shortstop. Alexi Ramirez can play, and he makes the routine play as well as the spectacular.
Edwin Encarnacion picked up his 80th RBI last night in the 3rd inning. Edwin's really seeing the ball well of late. He's 7 for his last 12. Hitting .294.
Watch him take pitches. Front side doesn't come flying out. He just takes it quietly, as you say, seeing the ball excellently, and it shows in the way he busts him up.
Quintana throws a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-1. Another strike evens the count at 2-2.
Mike McCoy can run at first base. Quintana no doubt knows that, but nowhere near the threat that Rajai Davis would be.
Two balls, 2 strikes. McCoy with a foot on the artificial surface, and he'll get chased back. Adam Dunn continues to play at first base, making his 35th start. Paul Konerko, the regular first baseman, on the disabled list. A little bit better move from Quintana. White Sox expect Konerko to come back in Kansas City. He's going to rejoin the team in Kansas City. He's on that 7-day concussion disabled list. He got a real clean bill of health in his checkup yesterday. Hot shot past Youkilis into left field. McCoy will stop at second. Encarnacion gets a hit in his first at bat tonight, and the red-hot David Cooper will get a chance to do something here in the first.
Watch the location on this pitch. Pitch that is pretty easy to handle just below the belt and maybe inner third of the plate, and I think Quintana might want to feel very fortunate that this ball was simply on the ground.
So Quintana has given up a couple hits here in the first inning, and David Cooper was the hero in last night's game. He walked off the White Sox with a single to right in the 11th. Overall, he was 2 for 5 in that ball game. Takes one down and away. This season, Cooper has absolutely worn out the White Sox. Only played 4 games against him, but he's 7 for 16.
He's been good late in ball games. He's been good against tough left-hand pitching. Thought that at bat last night to win it was so impressive. You factor in, and if you've ever played the game, a guy that can throw upper 90s, up to 98 miles an hour. And that's what David was facing in that final at bat, a guy that mixes in the breaking balls at that point. It's tough to adjust and handle anything, and David did it beautifully.
This one's off the end of the bat. Coming quickly is Dwayne Wise, and he makes the catch. 2 outs.
And the scouting report on Jose Quintana. He pitches with poise while spotting his 88 to 92 mile per hour fastball. Has both a small cutter and a large slider to go with his changeup. Works in well, uses both sides of the plate like a veteran.
Quintana has really caught the eye of the pitching coach Don Cooper. He loves his delivery. So he has a very smooth delivery that allows him to repeat quality pitches all throughout the course of a ball game. 2 down now. Yunel Escobar goes after that first pitch and fouls it off. Escobar was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in last night's game, and he was on deck when David Cooper won it in the 11th.
The way organizations love a left-hander that can seemingly pitch well while he's a youngster, it's hard to believe the Mets and Yankees both have let this young lefty get away.
Signed as a 17-year-old out of Colombia. Just didn't seem as though they gave him enough time to develop. White Sox signed him. He made 9 starts in AAA before coming to the ball club in May. There are the numbers in that 4-0 loss. He left the ball game. It was 2-0. Blue Jays would get 2 more runs off the bullpen. Ball on the strike. Base hit left field. Mike McCoy is getting the wave around third. No throw from Dwayne Wise. And Escobar has given the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Nothing but ground balls, but 3 hits in the inning for the Blue Jays against a left-hander that has been awfully tough.
Escobar picks up his 38th RBI, and they have hit the ball sharply, albeit on the ground.
Really no shot at all for either the third baseman or shortstop on this play. And Mike McCoy gets a nice turn at the bag. Being set, Dwayne Wise, the veteran out there, doesn't throw like he once did.
Moises Sierra off to a great start to his young big league career. Steps in with a .375 average. He's got a home run now. That came last night against Jake Peavy, leading off the bottom of the 7th. 0-1, 2 outs. Ball down the stairs. Sierra has shown a very impressive ability to hit the ball the other way. Oftentimes you see young hitters come to the big leagues and the first thing they think about is pulling the ball. It's not the case with Sierra.
And impressive to see the way he has gone the other way and back up the middle, and then still show that ability as he did last night with that first major league home run as he turned it toward left center, and plenty to get it out.
Quintana's ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Euclid with the backhand. He'll go across the diamond. Plenty of time to get Sierra. Another ground ball sharply hit, but the inning is over. The Blue Jays, on the strength of an RBI single off the bat of Yunel Escobar, lead at 1-0. all the latest Blue Jays news and information by following the club on Twitter @Blue Jays. Submit your questions during tonight's game to @Blue Jays, and your question could be selected as our Twitter fan question of the night. Henderson Alvarez with a 1-0 lead gets ahead of Adam Dunn. Dunn, a multi-home run game last night, 32nd time he's done that in his career. Second time this season. He hits this ball hard, and that's going to be in front of Sierra. Dunn has 4 hits already in this series. That's a dangerous thing. Have him swinging the bat well, and he's always got the power.
Funny how this game goes. In the first inning, I thought Alvarez was up with that sinker a few times. There he gets that sinker working down toward the knees, and Adam Dunn just crushes it on a line.
Hard to figure out sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes players get surprised when the pitch is right out on a tee and they pop it up or hit it on the ground. Kevin Euclid takes a first pitch strike.
What, as a catcher, used to concern me a great deal was pitchers who would make poor pitch after poor pitch throughout the course of a night, have a pretty good night when it was all said and done statistically, and say they only made 1 or 2 mistakes all night long. It was in reality just 1 or 2 that got busted by the opposition.
Inside, ball on the strike. You can watch a complete game shutout and point out 15 to 18 mistakes a pitcher makes.
In most cases, absolutely so. And when you're back there catching and you see the pitches that you already are kind of counting on being crushed somewhere, and they get fouled off, it's just good fortune.
This is popped up. Third baseman Adeiny Echeverria makes the catch. Euclid is retired. He's now 0 for 6 against Henderson Alvarez.
Have you watched the body language of Adeiny Echeverria on routine plays and otherwise? He just looks like this is a game he loves to play. He's been doing it all his life and just having a good time playing it the way he plays it.
There are some players that step on the field, and without knowing who they are, without seeing their uniform number, you can tell they can play.
You spot them right away.
And he's one of those guys. A.J. Pierzynski got a 14-game hit streak. Boy, he's been red hot. He had 7 home runs in his last 12 games. That's the most in the majors since the end of July. Put together a career season. He's a free agent at the end of this season. He's 35 years old. It's amazing how that walk year gets guys to focus and they come up with great seasons.
I always played it the other way. I found it more beneficial to my bank account.
There's a ground ball. This could be 2. Escobar goes to the bag, steps on second, goes to first, and the inning is over. There's that ground ball Alvarez was looking for. He hit it to the right guy, the shortstop. Henderson Alvarez, 7 pitches, home run, you can win a big audio home theater system with big TVs like an 80-inch Sharp Aquas Quadron. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Kelly Johnson has some home runs. He's hit 13 of them so far this year. The ball is popped out of play. Blue Jays scored 1 run on 3 hits in the bottom of the first. Ball and a strike. We mentioned that Quintana pitched very well against the Blue Jays the last time they faced him. Johnson picking it up a bit over his last 7 games. Reaches for this breaking ball and pops it up. Shortstop Ramirez makes the catch. Alexei Ramirez and Danny Echeverria, both from Cuba. They had a chance to visit last night for the first time, and then they caught up again this afternoon during batting practice. How about Jeff Mathis? Congratulations to Jeff Mathis. He has signed a contract extension for 2 years plus an option. Going to be with the Blue Jays just for the next couple of seasons. You like the sign?
I do. I think you want to have that backup catcher, and you hate to get a label as a backup catcher, but I think that's what Jeff does best. He's exceptional defensively, great throw catcher, and when he's had the chances to play here and there, his bat is dangerous, and he's come up with some big swings.
Some of my best friends are backup catchers.
Yeah, well, we probably have the right to talk about it, don't we?
We sure do. It's a very good position. You know, you sign your backup catcher, and then he just goes off to the backup, and don't even worry about him. When he comes on the play, he does a good job. This time he strikes out. 2 quick outs for Quintana here in the second.
What about you? What do you think of Jeff and what he's done this year?
Oh, I think he's perfect for that role. He's a guy that keeps himself prepared. I think the one thing that you need from your backup players, whether it's a catcher or bench player, that when they play, they don't lose games. They might not win them, but they don't lose them.
And the thing about Jeff is he's actually helped win some games this year. I think that bat comes alive when he plays sporadically. And that's not all that rare either. Backup catchers through the years, there have been guys who were terrific as a backup. Given the chance to play every day, they had their struggles.
Danny Echeverria, ball on the strike. Echeverria just 2 hits in 20 at-bats. We mentioned Echeverria and Alexei Ramirez, both from Cuba. Obviously shortstops, and they're very similar in their styles. Kind of lanky, long arms, and have good hands and strong arms.
Take a good look at that picture. If you look at Echeverria and think, well, he's too thin to really hit. Alexei Ramirez is thinner, and he hits with some tremendous pop in his bat.
Now, Ramirez was a real bonus to this White Sox team, and when he came up, he actually made his first start in center field. And then he moved to second base, and he just waited for the opportunity to move to shortstop. And Echeverria might have to do the same thing.
So rare to get that guy that winds up as a shortstop rather than starting there, because that's kind of that position where you groom a guy because he has the right tools. But Alexei Ramirez, guy that's hit the grand slam ball very well. I can't remember now. He may have 4 already in his young career. But hits with the power. So Echeverria, I think you could project him out very similar.
It's a piece of that pitch and stays alive. Ramirez, his first year in Chicago with the White Sox, hit 21 home runs. Drove in 77. And then his home run dropped a bit. 15, 18, and 15. And then this year, it's been a real mystery. He's only hit 5. And he's in a hitter-friendly ballpark at home. 1-2 outside.
That ballpark in Chicago, to the eye, at least from me, looks like a very fair ballpark. But when you watch balls fly there, they tend to really get out, and you can understand why the offense is played very well there.
Echeverria hanging tough against Quintana.
Yet when you look at these White Sox, should they get into postseason play this year, and they are in first place presently. Close race with Detroit. They've got some good looking top of the rotation pitching. We saw Jake Peavy last night. Chris Sale has been, by all accounts, the best pitcher they've had this year. And Quintana probably slots in.
Breaking ball is hit into center field. Diaz is there. Echeverria is retired, and the Blue Jays go down in order in the second. After 2 here at Rogers Center, Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Comfort Zone is Wojtek Wolski of the Washington Capitals. The TV Comfort Zone, courtesy of TV. I'm sure he's hopeful that his off-season workout program won't go down the drain as the NHL and the owners are trying to work out a agreement, get a new basic agreement. Donald Fear is heading up the Players Association. Big hop for the third baseman. Echeverria throws out Ramirez. Has to be a little bit of satisfaction. Gets to throw out his pal, Alexei Ramirez. 1 down here in the third. Boy, Alvarez done a nice job of keeping the ball on the ground.
That would be such a key for Henderson finding himself in the big league, starting to have the kind of success his stuff would indicate that he maybe should have. Terrific velocity to go with that hard sinking action.
Diane Viciedo, the DH tonight, who's the regular left fielder, getting the night off in that role. There's a ground ball, but it sneaks up the middle into center. Sounds like Viciedo got jammed a bit, but he ends up with a 1-out base hit. Alvarez, excuse me, Alan.
I was just going to say, all about location when you see a ball hit like this, and Viciedo has probably hit 25 line drives at somebody on the course of the year and then won't remember this kind of base hit in the end.
Well, Blue Jays have handled him very well, batting just 184 against Toronto this season coming into this game. Number 9 hitter is Gordon Beckham. Boy, there's a certain crispness to Alvarez's pitches early in this game. We didn't see that against Tampa Bay last time out.
He appears to have gone back a little bit more to that changeup, and that's to my pleasure. I thought when he came on last year he could throw the changeup in any count. Terrific fastball. It's a great combination.
Viciedo, not much of a threat to run. He's been caught the only time he's tried this year. Gordon Beckham. Alvarez looking to get another ball on the ground. A breaking ball for a strike. That pitch seems to be improving a little bit as the season has gone on.
I think a lot of times guys who have that 3/4 almost out toward the side kind of a slot have a tough time with the slider. It gets flat. It turns into a pretty easy pitch to handle when it doesn't have that downward bite.
Well, there's a good sinker, but it's sunk out of the zone.
So that slot you talk about that can hinder the slider can help that sinker, that hard fastball, and you can see the tremendous action there.
Just missed the outside corner. Alvarez was hopeful of getting strike 3. White Sox are missing one of their big bats, of course. Paul Konerko was hit in the middle of the order for a long time for Chicago. He mentioned he's on the DL, suffered a concussion playing against the Royals. 2-2, 1 out. With a bouncing ball, Alvarez goes after it with a bare hand and can't make the play on it. He might have been better off to try to glove it. You weren't going to get 2 on this play. He reached for it with his bare hand, missed it, and then when he tried for it a second time, he bobbled it again.
Kind of one of my pet peeves, and I had some coaches that probably drove it into me through the years, but you can make the play, generally speaking, faster by using the glove, just as fast, and much more steadily. You try to barehand like that when you don't need to, and it just creates an opportunity for the hitters.
Alvarez has committed 3 errors this season. So now he's really got to pitch out of a jam, and he'll have to face the leadoff man, Alejandro De Aza. De Aza grounded out to second base, and Henderson Alvarez would take another one of those ground balls right now. Double play into the second. A.J. Pierzynski grounded into a double play. Is hit to left field. Rajai Davis back. Has room. Makes the catch. Going back to tag is Viciedo. Escobar not sure that he was running, but once Viciedo saw that Davis was going to make the catch on the warning track, he alertly went back and tagged and advances.
Pitchers will vary pitches so often, and we'll get to that in a second as Rajai just drifts back. Any play is going to be easy for Rajai after that one going up and over the wall. So you read it as a base runner, you start toward third base, and then you decide, well, that's a routine catch in the big leagues, so let's tag and move up.
And the White Sox have struggled mightily to score runs, so every time you can get an extra 90 feet, you try to advance. Ball in the dirt, certainly a possibility with Alvarez throwing that hard sinker. Dwayne Wise grounded out to second base, his first time up. Downstairs for a ball.
I find myself wondering about Dwayne Wise, why teams don't seem to hang on to him right now. He bounces from team to team. I understand why they want him in the first place. A nice left-handed hitter, a veteran who can really play defensively. He'll get you some big swings with the bat, and yet doesn't seem to stick.
Consistency. He's a prototypical 4th or 5th outfielder. Kind of like what we talked about with Jeff Mathis.
Every team needs him, and it's hard to imagine that there are 30 of them out there better than Dwayne Wise at times.
Dwayne Wise started his big league career with the Blue Jays in 2000. He came up and played in 28 games, had just 22 at bats, but he's never had more than 162 at bats in a big league season. Ball on his strike. Downstairs.
I guarantee you Mark Burley was glad he found his way into that game in Chicago, the perfect game a few years back. Terrific play by Dwayne Wise.
Saved the game, and it's honored with a sign out on the left center fence, and they just put the catch.
The catch. Rajai could have the catch out in left field here.
2-1, 2 outs, runners at the corners. 3-1. The red-hot Alex Rios on deck.
That last pitch didn't look like a bad one to me. It wasn't where Jeff Mathis wanted it, and a lot of times when you miss the catcher's location, home plate umpires just don't act very kindly toward it.
Rise cut on that breaking ball, and Alvarez back into the count. It's 3-2. 2 outs. The runner at first, Gordon Beckham, will be moving on the pitch. Viciato's at third. The Jays lead at 1-0. Yunel Escobar drove in the run in the first. There goes the runner. Wise bounces it to Johnson. Dwayne Wise is thrown out. Alvarez gets out of a tough situation in the third. He strands a pair of base runners and holds on to a 1-0 lead. And the Tweeting Tuesday fan of the game is Amanda McQueen. Congratulations, Amanda. She's from Ancaster, Ontario, and you have been selected tonight's Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday fan of the game. Amanda has been a long-time Blue Jay fan and loves to come out and watch the boys play here at Rogers Center. If you'd like to be selected as the Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday fan of the game, send us a picture and tell us why you should be selected. For more information, log on to bluejays.com/fan of the game. Rajai Davis behind 0-1, now 0-2. Be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Quintana makes the second time through the batting order. Blue Jays jumped on him quickly as they scored a run on 3 hits and sent 6 men to the plate.
It's always that game of adjustments between pitcher and hitter, and we now have seen a couple of change-ups on Rajai Davis. See if Quintana turns in that direction here the second time through.
Hard hit down the left field line. That's trouble. One hops off the wall, and Davis is headed for second. Rajai Davis is 2 for 2. Picks up his 19th double of the season. That starts the bottom of the third inning.
Well, you talk about trouble. Watch where this pitch is. Left, up, and in. And for any major league hitter, if you're trying to drive the ball, that's exactly what you'd like to see. Rajai Davis has been far less of a little ping hitter of late and much more of that guy that's hitting the ball to the gaps and to the wall.
That's a great point, and he says a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's choked up on the bat and he keeps both hands on the bat through the entire swing. Very similar to what Edwin Encarnacion has done. Davis now is going to draw a throw at second. Nobody out. Mike McCoy. Bunter went off home plate, and Rajay was thrown out at second by A.J. Pierzynski.
Take a look at that Rajay Davis swing. And there's the choke-up. You can see it immediately. It's that pitch up and stays with two hands through most of the swing. But that's a good quality effort. And again, Rajay taking advantage. That's 19 doubles now for Rajay.
Ball on the strike to Mike McCoy.
Factor in 3 triples, 6 home runs. Got yourself a pretty good left fielder.
And Rajay Davis has 15 steals of third base. He's 15 for 17. Find us swipe third. Another draw, another throw to second, and he gets back.
Can't imagine that there would be a pitcher or team around baseball now that would take Rajay for granted at second base, and yet sometimes it looks like he swipes third so handily.
He has 5 more steals of third than anybody in baseball. Ball on the strike. Boy, he's got a big lead now. There he goes. McCoy takes it. Pierzynski's throw is not in time. 34th steal of the season for Rajay Davis.
So easy to rush that throw if you're a catcher. You know that speed, and you know you've got to be really good to get him. And I think a good throw right here might have given the White Sox a shot.
No, you're right. If it's all the way in the air, Euclid just leaves that glove right on the bag, and he probably slides right into the tag. McCoy hooks it foul just past third base. A golden opportunity for the Blue Jays here. Man at third base, nobody out. 34th steal overall. 16th time he's been successful stealing third. Mike McCoy has 3 RBIs this season. He spent most of the time in AAA. Got an RBI on Sunday. Had a single to shortstop. There's going to score a run. He'll pick up another RBI. Ramirez goes to first. Davis comes in to score. McCoy with the ground out RBI. It's 2-0 Blue Jays.
That's all it takes to drive in a run in the big leagues. You bet it is. Sometimes you get that man on third base and the infield playing back. Just put it on the ground back up the middle.
Contact. All you got to do is make contact. I mean, that's like a gimme RBI. You get a guy at third base less than 2 outs, you should knock him in. Edwin Encarnacion picked up a single his first time up. Deep it's short. Ramirez. Long throw in time. 2 down. I would love to see Encarnacion hit 300 for the season. I think that would be representative of the kind of year he's had. Dramatic improvement in every aspect.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, I feel like he's turned such an enormous corner. There were people screaming for him to be out of town last year, and I imagine most of those folks are big fans right about now.
David Cooper takes one down and away. John Farrell will join us after this half inning from the dugout, as he does every Tuesday night. We'll hear directly from the skipper right after this half inning. David Cooper continues to bat in the cleanup spot. Takes an inside strike. That slider missed down and away. It's 3-1. Jose Quintana is just 23 years old. This is his 14th big league start. Had a couple of relief appearances when he first joined the White Sox. popped up. Kevin Euclid, the third baseman, over near the seats, reaches in, and I don't know if he had it or not. He's got it. He won the battle with a fan. Euclid's great concentration, reached into the first row of seats and makes the catch to end the inning. Euclid gets right to the seats, the fan reaching for it as well, but Kevin Euclid comes up with it, third out of the inning. Good effort. Rajai Davis already tonight with 2 hits. He scored a run, stole a base. Lately, he's been doing everything, and obviously that catch really encouraged him the other night because he's had some tough times in left field lately.
Well, the catch the other night is something that I don't think we'll see for quite a while. The fact is, he goes over the wall for the first time in his ballpark, but he's playing with a lot of confidence. Obviously, when he gets on base, he feels like he can steal against anyone, and that was the case this last inning. But when he gets pitches in the strike zone, he's been squaring them up fairly regularly here.
John, how much easier has life been made for the Skip with the recent acquisitions in the bullpen?
Well, Alex has done a great job of bringing in some guys with some strikeout capability, and really it's given us from where we were probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, where there were 3 guys that when we had a lead we'd go to. Now all of a sudden you double that with 6 guys, and it gives the proper amount of rest for guys when they need it. So it's been, I don't want to say a luxury, but we've got a much deeper group here.
John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
Alex Rios. It's the first pitch upstairs. There's a big bouncing ball to third. Hechavarria on the money. Rios is retired, 1 down. Alan, that's pretty interesting what he said about the bullpen. I think every manager would like to have basically 2 sets of relievers that you could use on alternate nights. And now with 6 reliable pitchers down in that bullpen on a nightly basis, he can have 3 at his disposal every night.
Yeah, I think that point is on the money. If you get 6 innings, a quality start from your starter, it leaves you with those 3 innings to finish off with. And I think that's the ideal way to go about business. Of course, you've got to have a second guy that can fill that closer role if you're playing on a ball club that's winning a lot.
Yeah, and then, of course, with the closer, you could use him 3 nights in a row on a pretty regular basis. But now you've got Lyon and Delabar, both who have racked up strikeouts on a regular basis. Adam Dunn gets jammed. Hechavarria from shallow right throws him out. And Alvarez has got that sinker working tonight.
Does he ever? And on that point you were talking about with the bullpen, a healthy Sergio Santos next year could go a long ways to giving you those 2 legitimate closers.
Yeah, and we mentioned this in the open, how the injuries and all the adversity the team has gone through has to open up some opportunities. Certainly Casey Janssen with the Santos injury, and then the Cordero failure as a closer moved into that closer's role, and looks like he deserves an opportunity to compete for that role at least next year at the spring training.
Yeah, I think that's fair. For me, Casey Janssen is probably my incumbent. He's just shown so much in that role. I think he shows that he's a guy that wants to get the job done, can get the job done, and has the stuff to get it done. He goes out there and has those 1, 2, 3 frames so often.
I'll tell you this from experience, managers have a tendency to lean toward the incumbents because they remember what a good job. And John Farrell loves the way Jansen approaches hitters. When he's in a safe situation, he attacks the hitter. And I think that's what you want from your closer. You don't want a guy out there flipping it, throwing 4 or 5 pitches in his back. AC Jansen gets quick resolutions.
He does, and always in the strike zone down around the knees, it would seem.
Kevin Youkilis behind Alvarez 1-2. See Mathis accentuating the fact that he wanted that breaking ball down and away, and Alvarez just couldn't get it there. He got that one there. Caught the outside corner. Youkilis is down for a second time. That's the first strikeout of the night for Henderson Alvarez as he catches Youkilis looking at a fastball. A lucky winner will take home a Sharp home theater system, including audio soundbar, Blu-ray player, and an Aquos LCD TV. To enter, visit www.hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp. Big is too small a word for it. Escobar, Sierra, and Kelly Johnson to bat for the Blue Jays here in the fourth inning. Right back to the pitcher. Quintana has it. Or maybe it had him, but Escobar's out. One pitch, one out here in the fourth.
You're only about maybe 54 feet away from home plate, and that ball comes back quickly, and you got to react. Sometimes it's all about self-preservation.
Moises Sierra grounded out to third base. You know, that's one thing about Quintana. He's got that good delivery, so he squared up to the batter, and he was in a position to make that play.
Size of body reminds me a bit of Mike Hampton, a left-hander who...
Oh, look out. Boy, that's what you always worry about. That is the most wicked end of the bat that flew into the seats, and the fans just don't have any defense whatsoever. Oh, my, that could have been terrible, but it looks like everybody is okay. Man, you just worry about one of these sharp ends of the bat going into the seats and someone being injured. Boy, that landed right in the aisle. I mean, how lucky is that? Hit right in the aisle.
Yeah, some of the fans were just kind of looking at it like, well, that's nice. One gentleman decided to get up and go get himself a souvenir or two.
I don't think the Blue Jays can use that one again.
Is she going to offer that right back to Moises again?
There's the strikeout, and Sierra gets hit by a pitch. Home plate umpire is calling him out because he was out of that running lane, and John Farrell is going to come out and protest. Mike Winters, the home plate umpire, is going to say that he was inside that throwing lane A.J. Pierzynski may have been injured on the play, but Winters immediately when that ball hit Sierra called him out for running outside of that running lane up the first base line.
This is so much less flagrant than you will so often see with no call. There he's in the lane, and just came out as he got hit. Well, that's awfully borderline.
Boy, it sure is. Just that one step with his left foot took him outside of that running lane, and because of that, he is called out.
And I dare anybody to run down the line, stay in the lane the entire way, and land on first base. You've got to make an adjustment to get there.
Yeah, it's really an unusual situation. Pierzynski appeared to get hit in the helmet on the follow-through. And now Bautista is up talking about the play last night when Rajai Davis extended the bat through the zone and was called out for interference, and then that play right there. Adam Dunn with the backhand toss to Quintana, and Kelly Johnson's retired. Quintana has regrouped a bit. He's retired 6 straight, just 7 pitches in the 4th inning. We've played 4. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. He has really done a great job for Chicago since coming here. The White Sox have had his leadership behind the plate. You see where Pierzynski ranks among active catchers. He's first in games played, 3rd in batting average, 3rd in home runs, and 3rd in RBI. Look at his career winning percentage, .525. And that's what Pierzynski has done for this ball club. He has instilled that winning attitude behind the plate.
35 years of age now, and he's still ready to go out there and be behind the plate and play it well as often as possible.
And he's not afraid to jump on a pitcher, a teammate, if they don't give the certain level of effort that he expects from his team. He'll let them know. AJ got a little upset with me a couple of years ago when I was broadcasting a game, and you remember from time to time he'll bleach his hair blonde, and he's just one of those great leaders, and he's one of those guys, I believe, that will do anything to win a ball game. You remember a couple of years ago there was a controversial play in the playoffs with the Angels and all that, and I said he was the Dennis Rodman of baseball, a colorful guy that would do anything to win. And he didn't think that was complimentary at all. But we talked about it. I said, hey, I just admire the way you play.
I wouldn't be at all upset to be compared with Dennis Rodman in that frame of doing anything to try to win.
Yeah, and he was a champion. And Pierzynski, of course, had that title with the 2005 White Sox World Series championship. Well, he's a good player. And, you know, he's one of those players that you play against him and you don't like him at all. He does a lot of little things that kind of aggravate you. Well, boy, he's a good teammate.
Lifetime .285 hitter.
Right now, he's got the longest hit streak in the American League, 14-gamer.
Best ever home run season already at this point, and he has been tacking them on of late.
That will extend his hit streak. A line single to left field. 15-game hit streak for A.J. Pierzynski.
Want to help out a great cause while enjoying some great food? Stop by A&W on August 23rd when $1 from every teen burger sold goes to help end MS.
A.J. Pierzynski with the third White Sox hit of the night is at first base. Alexei Ramirez. Inside. Alvarez already has recorded 9 ground ball outs. A little pop up. Kelly Johnson will make the play. Ramirez broke his back. Well, there's a lot of movement to that two-seamer tonight.
These two pitchers are making it look rather easy and snapping off the bats pretty consistently.
Jose Quintana, after a rocky first inning, has settled down very effectively. But he trails 2-0. Diane Viciedo, the DH tonight. Viciedo had a ground ball base hit up the middle in his first at bat. Really didn't hit the ball that well. Kind of got jammed and just grounded it up the middle. Blue Jays are playing him a little bit to pull. Viciedo is a free swinger, man. He's got a wild swing. A little bit like Jonas Cespedes of the Athletics. Take a look at the double play ground outs. 2 for the price of 1. Alvarez with 24 double plays turned behind him. Scott Diamond of Minnesota has 23. Buchholz, all the usual suspects. And there's Derek Lowe, who made his Yankee debut last night. There's a ground ball, but it's through the right side. Viciedo is on. His second hit of the night. 2 for 2. We mentioned all the double plays. Some of that has to do with the fact that Alvarez gives up a lot of hits. Got a lot of base runners on, and then he'll get the ground ball. Coming into this game tonight, he was 4th in the American League in hits allowed. Rick Porcello, James Shields, Ivan Nova, the only pitchers that have given up more hits than Henderson Alvarez.
Ideally, if you're having a really good season as a pitcher, you're going to have a whip down close to the 1 mark. 1 base runner hit and walk added up per inning, but Henderson up pretty close to the 1.5, and he has had a lot of base runners.
This ball is driven to right. Sierra back. He gets there, makes the catch. Pierzynski tags at second. He makes a turn around third, but he'll stop there. So there are 2 outs. Sierra got back easily on that ball. It's a hit all the way back to the warning track by Gordon Beckham. These young players still getting their feet on the ground in the big leagues, and Sierra takes it all the way to the warning track and then turns around, and a little bit of hesitation as to where he should throw it.
Yeah, that was kind of that drift mode. You'd ideally like to get back to the baseball a little more directly and early, where you can move into the ball if you're given the chance and then make a good strong throw, and he has a good throwing arm.
Going back to the top of the order, the leadoff man Alejandro De Aza has gone 0 for 7 so far in this series. 2 outs. Little looper that'll get down for a base hit. Pierzynski jogs in with the White Sox first run of the game. Blue Jays have had their lead cut in half. It's now a 2-1 game. Diaz picks up his 44th ribby of the season.
White Sox have had one other inning where they've had multiple hits tonight. That was the third inning. But now 3 hits in this inning, and White Sox starting to get to Henderson a little bit, although not everything hit sharply. Well, there's that throwing that you'll see a lot of times with a young player, Sierra in this case.
Dwayne Wise goes after the first pitch, and Viciedo is around third. He'll come in to score, and just like that, it's a 2-2 game. Dwayne Wise with his first hit of the night drives home Viciedo from second.
Henderson has the problems when he leaves pitches up, and he leaves one right around the belt. That's not where you want to be with that sinker. That just makes it awfully easy for the hitters.
That's 3 hitters in a row that have gone after the first pitch against Henderson Alvarez. Alex Rios has grounded out twice. He takes the first pitch. Diaz at first can run. Not going. Rios fights it off. Diaz might change his thoughts now with Rios in the hole 0-2.
White Sox had to feel like the way things wound up when they acquired Alex Rios from the Blue Jays, a very shrewd deal by Alex Anthopoulos. White Sox had to feel like they got burned. But more and more, that has not been the case. Rios is putting up some very nice play for the White Sox.
No, he's done a good job. They moved him back to right field where he's most comfortable, and obviously his bat has come around. Diaz is at third, Wise at first. Dwayne Wise, picking up his 9th RBI of the season, has tied it up. One and two, 2 outs. Rios fouls it off at the plate. Good fastball with a lot of late movement. That one was 96.
You find no question marks from me about the stuff of Henderson Alvarez. The location is now the key. Still a youngster, but he's been around the big leagues, over 30 major league starts now, and you'd love to see him start finding that.
Bounced and blocked by Mathis. Well, that was the tough one for a catcher, that one that's thrown right directly in front of home plate and about a foot in front of the plate.
Fastball in the dirt, always the tough one. You're never anticipating blocking, so you do your best job. It's not a drop to the knees scenario. You just try to get something in front of it, and Jeff Mathis pulls that off. On breaking balls, changeups, you're always anticipating dropping down and blocking.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Rios with a late emergency hack fouls it off. White Sox have tied it up here in the 5th. 2 runs on 4 hits so far. A.J. Pierzynski got it started with a line drive to left. Diaz is going to come in to score. Alvarez has made a mistake, his 2nd error of the game. No reason at all to make a throw at first base right there. Nothing was going on. And Cooper had to go high off his glove, and Diaz has come in to score the go-ahead run.
Anderson didn't let off. He pumped it up to first base. And all in all, like you say, it's really just a foolish mistake.
2-2. 2 outs. Yeah, there was not any reason to think they were going to run at that point. But you see, Alvarez fake to third and then really unloads a strong throw, but it's high off the glove of Cooper, and De Aza at third runs so well it didn't have to go very far for him to score. Rios strikes out. That compounds the mistake by Alvarez. He's committed 2 errors, and the White Sox have taken a lead by scoring 3 runs here in the 5th. It's time for the BlackBerry Tweeting Tuesday and question of the day. Rockin' Fantasy asks, is it common for division rivals like Cano and Edwin to work out in the offseason? And are teams okay with that?
I think in the game today, you've got a number of players choosing either Arizona or Florida, and they'll go work out in groups at particular gyms. And secondly, if I had a chance to have one of my players work out with Robinson Cano, I'd say, hey, I'll go ahead and pay the airfare.
Jeff Mathis fights one off and flares it into right field. That's a leadoff single for the Blue Jays catcher. I agree with you 100%. You know what, now in this day and age, players are going to destinations to work out to get into shape. A few years ago, John Lester was working out in Atlanta with Tim Hudson, and Hudson showed him a grip on a 2-seam fastball, and that helped John Lester develop that complementary pitch. We've heard all about Blue Jays working out in Saddlebrook down in Florida. Derek Jeter, Ryan Howard, they all work out together. All these guys are working out, getting ready prior to spring training, and I think it's great.
What if you had a chance to get one of your pitchers to go work out with Roy Halladay down in Florida? Boy, jump at it, take it in a heartbeat.
Yep, I don't think anybody would complain about that. And Danny Echeverria takes a pitch inside. Echeverria flied out to center field his first time up. Blue Jays trail by a run. The White Sox scored 3 runs in their half of the 5th. It's a ball and a strike. The White Sox are clinging to a 2-game lead over the Tigers in the AL Central. Detroit's lost 3 in a row. Echeverria puts down a good bunt. Quintana in time at first. Good scoop by Adam Dunn. Nice job by the big first baseman to take the low throw. Echeverria executes the sacrifice bunt. Mathis moves into scoring position with 1 out.
Tough to replace a Paul Konerko, and they do it, the White Sox, pretty well here with this fine play by Dunn. What do you think of the idea, Echeverria bunting in this scenario? Obviously, he's been having a hard time coming up with hits, and maybe in this case, I'm good. Trying to move the man up, get a base hit in the process.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get a base hit. He wanted it a little bit closer to the third base line. Quintana made a good play on getting off the mound in good shape. But now the top of the order, Rajai Davis already 2 for 2. Takes one in the dirt. Yeah, I think when you're batting 9th in the order, you're just up from AAA. You're 2 for 21. Thinking about a bunt's not a bad idea at all. Plus, he moved the runner up. It's a productive out.
Got the top of the order coming up.
Rajai Davis, a single into right. Rios has a terrific arm. Mathis is being stopped at third. Davis, his third hit of the night.
Do you think success is breeding success for Rajai Davis right about now? Because it sure seems that way.
Yes, it does. He's had an awful lot of good games lately, and it seems as though his confidence is growing.
Up out over the plate. You're supposed to hit that pitch, but that's much easier said than done, and Rajai's doing the done portion very consistently.
Mike McCoy. McCoy picked up an RBI with a ground out to short his last time up. Mathis at third, Davis at first. Rajai's already picked up a stolen base tonight. And Quintana is aware of that. Three-2 White Sox lead. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. From time to time, we've seen the Blue Jays use the safety squeeze in this 1st and 3rd situation. I don't know if this is a time to utilize that with Encarnacion on deck. Let McCoy take his hacks, and hopefully he'll stay out of a double play. There goes Davis. The throw to second is not in time. A little bit high on the throw, and Beckham, by the time he got the glove down to the bag, Davis had already reached second.
With Rajai aboard, I am not inclined to bunt. I'm going to let him run and then try to take advantage of not giving up an out to move him. Really not a quick come out firing there from A.J. Pierzynski with a right-hand hitter at the plate. He had to be able to see Rajai going easily.
Looked like he got surprised. McCoy, ball on the strike, one out. There's a push bunt up the first baseline, but it goes into foul territory.
Gotta be careful about when you do have that safety squeeze on, that you don't try to be too perfect with the bunt. Now with a straight up squeeze, you can bunt it straight back to the mound softly. But with that safety squeeze, you've got to be better than that, but you don't want to hug the lines too much.
Boy, you've got so much room with the left-handed pitcher falling off toward the third base foul line. You really don't have to be very perfect with that bunt. But now with 2 strikes, you wouldn't think that would be the play. 1 and 2, 1 out. Boy, this is a big at bat. McCoy needs to put the ball in play, try to score Mathis from third, because if he pops up or strikes out, they're just going to walk Encarnacion with the lefty on the mound and Cooper batting behind Edwin.
Now if you have that combination of Bautista, Encarnacion, and you can probably load that up, you start talking Adam Lind, whatever the case may be. Makes it awfully tough on the opposition pitching and the manager as well. But Edwin just going to lose some chances right now the way it stands.
Full count. 1 out. Mathis at third, Davis at second. He walked it. The bases are loaded. One out. Edwin Encarnacion will come to the plate.
That's one way to get Edwin to swing.
Hey, fans, keep watching. With the bases loaded, we're a grand slam away from awarding an 80-inch Sharp Quatron Aquos LCD TV. To enter, visit www.hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp. Big is too small a word for it. Mathis at third, Davis at second, McCoy at first, Edwin Encarnacion. Pops up the first pitch. They had a home run cut.
Had a pitch to take advantage of as well. Did you anticipate those kinds of numbers when Edwin started his season? Wow.
Got off to a great start, and he hasn't slowed down. Edwin has a grand slam this season. Boy, he's loading up on that back leg, isn't he?
See how easily he takes that changeup down. Front side stays calm. It's beautiful stuff.
Jose Bautista, and we've got some news on him. We'll bring you up to date on that a little later. Ball and a strike, one out. Gloved by Euclid, second base in time, and Encarnacion couldn't have hit it any harder. Kevin Euclid to his glove side, speared it, and then looked quickly at second and doubles up Rajay Davis. Blue Jays had the perfect scenario. Quintana gets a nice defensive play behind him. Line shot headed to left, gloved by Euclid. Doubles up Davis. The inning is over. Quintana pitches out of a tough situation. Maintains his one-run lead. Top of the sixth inning, Adam Dunn will lead things off. Chicago with a 3-2 lead. Dunn hits the first pitch and grounds to Kelly Johnson. Dunn's retired on just one pitch. Alvarez has got the sinker ball working. He's had a ton of ground ball outs, and unfortunately, his error in the fifth inning led to the go-ahead run. Diaz scored when Alvarez made a high throw to first on a pickoff attempt of Dwayne Wise. Kevin Euclid. Well, he made a nice play to end the bottom of the fifth. I don't think Encarnacion could have hit it any harder.
Yeah, that likely is the most sharply hit ball of the night when it's all said and done, and yet it's nothing but a double play. Good looking breaking ball right there at the knees, no call. But Edwin hangs his head, but he knows he can't do anything any better than what he did on that.
Lucas lines it into center. Mike McCoy will play it on a hop. Kevin Youkilis has his first hit of the night. That's his first hit against Henderson Alvarez. He is now 1 for 8 against Alvarez. AJ Pierzynski started the White Sox rally in the 5th. He singled sharply into left field to extend his personal hitting streak to 15 games. Goes after the first pitch. Cooper goes to second. They get the lead runner back to first. Alvarez missed it. Mathis backing up to play, throws to second, and they get Pierzynski. What a heads-up play by Jeff Mathis. He's where he's supposed to be, backing up to throw behind first. Pierzynski grounds to Cooper, who goes to second. The return throw gets away from Alvarez. A.J. Pierzynski never hesitates, heads for second, and Mathis throws him out. There are 5 ways to win this year, including a grand prize draw for Canada's largest LCD TV, a 90-inch Sharp Aquos. Join Sharp Canada on Facebook today. Beautiful shot of the CN Tower. Jeff Mathis, what a heads-up play he made. Catchers, they got to follow that play. There's nowhere else for them to be except behind first, but he was right there, and when Pierzynski took off, he threw him out.
You'll make that hard run down the first base line over and over and over, and you finally get that chance, and you come up with it. Escobar has made a lot of poor throws on double play possibilities this season, but there's Jeff Mathis to save the day.
A.J. Pierzynski never hesitated as that ball went past Alvarez, who was covering first, but Mathis saved the day. David Cooper will lead things off. And Quintana, boy, he's settled down nicely. Quintana did something similar to this last time he faced the Yankees. He gave up runs early in the ball game and never really gave in, didn't cave in. Maintained his poise and pitched late into the ball game, ended up winning the game. Now the breaking ball bounced in the dirt. Cooper's seen that very well and takes it well outside. David Cooper's done a good job hitting against lefty pitching. Coming into this game, he had a .292 average. One more time with that breaking ball. This time it catches the outside corner. That's the first out, bottom of the 6th. With 1 out, let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Doug Fister on the mound against Brian Dunsing for the Twins. Escobar bounces it right to the third baseman, Euclid. 2 quick outs. Going to be quite a dogfight before it's all said and done to decide the AL Central. When you look at the White Sox, they have a tough schedule ahead. Both of these teams are going to play Kansas City a lot.
The Indians started the season well for a second straight season, but it's all about the 2 clubs, White Sox and the Tigers.
Moises Sierra takes one inside. Another bouncing ball. This is going to be a tough play for Ramirez. And Sierra beats the throw. Boy, hit it right in the perfect spot. Euclid couldn't get to it. Bounced past him, and once it hit deep in the hole, Sierra runs so well that he was able to beat it out easily.
On that play, you get to see some of the speed of Moises Sierra. Big man, but runs well. And you sniff that major league hit, you better be digging like that.
One thing we have seen with Sierra is he comes to an abrupt stop once he hits first base. Puts a lot of pressure on his ankles and knees. He actually broke his leg in spring training in 2009 running the bases. That really set him back, as he was in spring training. He was just running the bases and broke his fibula. And then later on that same season, broke his hamate bone. He had a couple of significant injuries in 2009 that kind of stymied his development. Kelly Johnson has popped up and grounded out. Quintana has come up with a pretty good breaking ball here in the middle innings.
That he has, and he made David Cooper pay the price. Coop tried to lay off of one that was outside, did so very nicely, but then took one that was right on that outside corner for the strike 3 call.
0-2. Sierra has 1 steal in his only attempt in the big leagues. Upstairs. Moises Sierra had 7 stolen bases in AAA before he was called up. Kelly Johnson drives it down the left field line. It's hit deep, but it's going to slice out of play. It's always a little bit unnerving for a base runner when that first baseman plays off the bag at first. I think I saw this the first time when John Olerud was in New York, and Al Leiter was pitching left-hander, and he played off the line, and it really kind of makes the base runner lose perspective for where he's at getting that lead. Quintana strikes out Kelly Johnson. The 6th inning comes to an end. Quintana with a couple of strikeouts in the 6th would go to the 7th. Chicago with a 3-2 lead. To catch Sportsnet's live coverage of the Blue Jays, watch the action live all season from your smartphone. Download the Rogers Live app from your app store. 7th inning. Alexei Ramirez takes a first pitch strike. Good breaking ball from Henderson Alvarez. Chicago leads 3-2. Both teams have 7 hits so far. That's how it ended up last night. Blue Jays won the ball game 3-2. Both teams with 7 hits in that 11th inning affair.
That shot of the CN Tower give you any thoughts about getting back there and maybe doing a hang over the edge at nighttime?
No, not anytime soon for sure. It is a beautiful structure at night when it's all lit up. One and two. Alexei Ramirez trying to get something going for the White Sox here in the 7th. Both pitchers have done a good job. There's that CN Tower roof open tonight. Well, that's a good pitch. Really tied up Ramirez inside.
That's that pitch that'll create loads of ground balls to third base primarily, but something on the left side. Right-hand hitter just cannot center it up.
Boy, the umpire, Mike Winters, he flinched. He wanted to call it a strike, and a good look at it, and thought it was down.
I always love looking at that particular pitch from the side because it sure looks from the side like it goes by the knees.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Escobar near second base. Strong throw. Ramirez is retired.
Working into the 7th inning, I would say this is one of the better outings for Henderson Alvarez on the season. Now let's take a look at that pitch from the side. Does it get the knees? No, that appears to be below the knees. So a good call by home plate umpire Mike Winters. He's been doing it a long time, crew chief.
Diane Viciero, the DH tonight. He's got a couple of hits. He's 2 for 2. Scored a run in the 5th. And grounded to center in the 3rd and hit a ground ball into right in the 5th. I agree with you on Alvarez. I think this has been one of the games where he really hasn't had any real rough spots. He created problems for himself when he committed his 2nd error. That gave the White Sox a 3-2 lead. He made 2 errors here tonight.
You have to go back to one that I thought he was exceptional in. He went 7 innings in beating the Angels way back on June 30th.
This is line to left. Rajay Davis right there. Viciero hit it hard. 2 outs in the 7th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Hiroki Kuroda really starting to get comfortable in the big leagues, and he's a veteran that can really pitch. I talked to Larry Rothschild during the weekend about Kuroda, and he said it doesn't faze him. He said he thinks it just took him a while to get comfortable being in New York for the first time and just getting acclimated to his new team.
Lights are not quite that bright anywhere else you want to go.
Well, expectations are so high in New York. Anything short of going to the World Series is a disastrous season. And if you don't win the World Series, it's something you don't even think about. Their standards are very high. Gordon Beckham hits it towards second. Kelly Johnson's been a busy guy. Good inning for Henderson Alvarez. He retires the bottom 3rd of the order. 1, 2, 3. Well, middle of the 7th. Blue Jays still trail. on Twitter. Many of the players are very active on Twitter, and you can catch up with them. Ricky Romero at Ricky Rowe 24. Brett Laurie. Find out how he's doing down in Florida in his rehab. Brett Laurie is eligible to be activated on Sunday off the disabled list. And by all reports, sounds like things are progressing in that direction. Jeff Mathis drives this toward the gap in center field. Diaza over quickly and makes the grab. Fine running catch by Alejandro Diaza.
You love to have those center fielders that can cover both gaps, and Diaza is one of those guys. Very good speed, a little deceptive at times, and good instincts as a center fielder.
Number 9 hitter, Adeiny Hechavarria. Was after that high pitch, and he knew it was high the moment he committed. Hechavarria is in his 3rd season with the Blue Jays. He started out his professional career in 2010 in Dunedin. He hit 193 in 41 games, but was promoted to Double-A. He went after that slider in the dirt. It's 1-2. But once he got to Double-A, he was teamed up with Luis Rivera, who was the manager. Seemed to become much more comfortable with the influence of Rivera, who had played in the big leagues as an infielder. And he hit 273. And then he's just kind of taken off from there.
I think Rivera probably provided not only that manager coach that gives great infield instruction. The Blue Jays have 2, Brian Butterfield being the other one, but also a guy that speaks the Spanish language that provides a lot of comfort for the young Hispanic player.
Well, it sure does, man. Oftentimes we overlook the impact of bringing a young Latino player into professional baseball, and you just kind of assume he'll get by. Well, that's not always the case. Hechavarria fouls it off.
And because they can't express themselves verbally, you never really learn that there's a problem going on. It's really a tough situation.
And you have been around players, you've coached in the big leagues, and you know sometimes they will disguise how little they understand.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate, but Rivera's done a great job in helping Hechavarria develop.
Hear about some of those young Hispanic players that learn how to order 1 or 2 items in restaurants. They can order cheeseburgers or some chicken and rice and really nothing else, and that's all they'll order all year long and maybe for a couple of seasons.
There's a bolt hit to center field. Diaza's not going to get to it. Hechavarria is around first. He's headed to second, and he will stop there. His first extra base hit is a solid double up the gap in center field.
That double is always appreciated, and there you see the really good swing that Hechavarria will put on a lot of baseballs. He's hit some balls hard and not much to show for it, but you see that he has a good swing. But that's one of those scenarios with 1 out where a triple is so much better than a double.
That sets the table for Rajai Davis. He's having a big night at the plate. Rajai is 3 for 3 already. He's scored a run, has added 2 stolen bases. Average up to 264. Way inside.
And by the way, lest we forget it, that's the first major league extra base hit for Hechavarria. Two
2-0, 1 out. 3-0. Mike McCoy is on deck.
With Mike McCoy on deck, there has to be consideration to give Rajai Davis the green light right here.
Brett Myers pitched the 9th inning in last night's game. Starts to loosen up for Robin Ventura's White Sox. He takes a strike. This is the 3rd time this season Davis has had a 3-hit game. Excuse me, the 4th time. His most recent 3-hit game was against the Red Sox at Fenway back in July. And he'll take the walk. He's been on base all 4 times tonight. Brandon Morrow made his 2nd start at AA New Hampshire tonight. He went 4 2/3, just 3 hits, didn't walk a batter, struck out 6, 67 pitches. That's a great line for Morrow. But the one thing I think that John Farrell is going to make note of is 67 pitches. I think he would have rather seen him throw upwards of 75, maybe 80 pitches. So that to me suggests that Morrow might make one more minor league rehab start.
It also leaves me to wonder at 4 2/3 innings why he was taken out of the ball game at that point. And I think word would have come our way if there was something physically that had gone wrong. If you'd like to see that pitch count get a little bit higher, surprising to come out at that 4 2/3 mark.
Yeah, that is curious that he would end at that point. Obviously well within the limits of his pitch count. So now Blue Jays threatening. Danny Echeverria at second, Rajai Davis at first. Mike McCoy has had a good night. Picked up an RBI in the 3rd with a ground out. Echeverria with his first big league extra base hit. McCoy takes a pitch down and away. Both bullpens are active now. We saw Myers up for the White Sox. They're in the loop. The left-hander is loosening up for the Blue Jays. Cut on and missed. Quintana showing a lot of poise for a first-year starter.
It's a word that came up when talking with a lot of the folks with the White Sox before today's game. They say youngster pitches like a poised veteran and will get tougher as the game goes on.
Just missed outside.
That's a quality effort.
Fly ball deep to center field. Diaz back. He has room and makes the catch. McCoy is retired. He gave it a ride, but Diaz got back quickly.
I would call that a routine play for a major league outfielder. And when you have the catch that should be made, that's where, as a base runner, you tag up and move up. It may not make a mistake in the inning, but it may. Echeverria has to see that as a routine play, tag up and move to third base.
We saw the White Sox do that effectively. A.J. Brzezinski tagged in the 5th and moved up on a fly ball. Now Robin Ventura has called for the bullpen. He's got Brett Myers ready down in his pen. He'll take the ball and congratulate Quintana for a job well done. He leaves with a 1-run lead and turned things over to the veteran, Brett Myers, who worked in last night's game. White Sox lead at 3-2, bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. an inning in last night's game. He pitched a good 1, 2, 3, 9th inning with a couple of strikeouts. Edwin Encarnacion is the batter. He hits with 2 on and 2 outs last night in the 3rd inning. He takes a peavy pitch and inside outs it to right. That drives home the first run of the ball game. It was the 80th RBI of the season for Edwin Encarnacion.
Could have picked up at least a couple more tonight with a rocket he hit to third base that turned into a double play. Bases were loaded at the time, and maybe the key play of this ball game.
Edwin got a pretty good pitch to hit. That ball worked out over the plate.
That's kind of that sinker version that we talk about with Henderson Alvarez, up over the plate.
Into center field. Diaz has a beat on it. Myers gets his man. He comes out of the bullpen with 2 outs and 2 on and retires a very good Edwin Encarnacion. That closes out the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. The White Sox holding on to a 1-run lead. Budweiser, why not grab some buds? Please enjoy responsibly.
Came in the 6th inning with the White Sox hitting. Pierzynski grounds one, possible double play, but Escobar's throw gets on by. That led Pierzynski to sprint towards second base, but it also brought Jeff Mathis hustling behind on the play and able to get the conclusion of the inning with that out. And just great hustle and work by Jeff Mathis.
No reason not to back up that play. Catchers will do it time and time again, and that time it paid off as they were able to close out that 6th inning. We're in the 8th. Aaron Loup will come on, making his 13th appearance, and he's done a good job. Loup has a 0-2 record, but a very good 2.87 ERA, and both lefties and righties have had their hands full when Aaron Loup's on the mound. So now it'll be up to the bullpens to finish off this ball game. Henderson Alvarez goes 7 strong innings, gives up 7 hits, 3 runs, and he would like to have that pickoff throw back that came in the 5th inning and led to the go-ahead run. Alejandro Diaz scored on Alvarez's throwing error. Here is Diaz. Picked up his first hit in his last at bat, first hit of the series. That drove in the first White Sox run of the inning.
Buck, you talk about Aaron Loup and the nice job he's done as a youngster coming on, getting out right and left-hand hitters, but I'll say this, that angle he creates on the left-hand hitters is pure filthy, and his stuff backs it up quite well. Look at the position. He's already closed and now crossfires considerably, and that left-hand hitter has a view. He sees the baseball coming from what looks like the second baseman.
Yeah, very difficult, and it's kind of like what Mark Zebchinski did when he moved to the bullpen, but Loup has a better fastball.
Zebchinski had that big, slow breaking kind of slider But yeah, you're right that the stuff of Loop it again backs it up.
Echeverria makes a good play on a little soft liner off the bat of Diaz. 1 out. A reminder, the next Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday will take place Tuesday, September 4th. The Blue Jays will welcome in the Baltimore Orioles. The game starts at 7:07 p.m. There are great prizes to be won. There's a first pitch, autographed merchandise, and T-shirts. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations for the next Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday. Dwayne Wise had an RBI single his last time up. He jumped on the first pitch he saw in the 5th inning, singled the center. Luke tried to catch that inside corner, but it stayed off the plate. Way outside, it's 3-1. Good fastball. Full count. This is what we talked about earlier in the game about the depth of the bullpen and how it's improved. Last night, John Farrell used Lyon, Jansen, and Delabon. And tonight he's got Luke, Oliver, Jenkins, and Lincoln. So he's got some fresh arms in that pen. Luke retires Dwayne Wise. There are 2 outs here. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. And Josh Beckett's problems continue as he gives up both of those home runs. Beckett goes 5 1/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, and his ERA is now 5.19.
Hard to explain with that kind of stuff.
Alex Rios takes the first pitch, strike.
Then you top it off with what John Lester has done this year, and well, the Red Sox almost leave themselves without a chance with those 2 aces on the staff having those struggles.
0-2, another good fastball. This has really been impressive the way Loop has handled right-handed hitters.
Gets them both. The stuff will get the right-hand hitters. The angle combined with the stuff almost leaves left-hand hitters without a chance.
Right-handers are just 6 for 31. That's a 194 average against Aaron Loop.
Who cares if he's a kid? That's a good thing.
And there's the breaking ball. Rios strikes out. Mathis tags him for the final out. Aaron Loop has a 1-2-3-8 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays down by a run. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Fans on hand here at Rogers Center trying to rally the troops as they trail by a run. 3-2, bottom of the eighth. The big left-hander Matt Thornton on to face the Blue Jays. Thornton making his 55th appearance of the season. His record is 4-8. And he certainly hasn't had the kind of season that you would expect from Matt Thornton. Starts David Cooper off with a breaking ball. Cooper has gone 0 for 3 with a strikeout. David Cooper, opposite field. This ball is in the gap. Cooper rounds first. He's headed for second. The throw is not in time. David Cooper once again delivers late in the ball game against a very tough left-hander, Matt Thornton. His 8th double of the season, and he's going to give way to the pinch runner. But first, look at this beautiful stroke.
That stroke of his is short, straight to the baseball. Like you say, 8 doubles now. He has 4 home runs. And he's got one of those strokes that you could project as a very good major league hitter for a long time.
Well, he's done a great job from the 7th inning on this season. He has 17 hits. He's hit 3 home runs. His OPS is over 1. He got just exactly what John Farrell's club needed, a leadoff double here in the 8th. Anthony Gose in as a pinch runner. Escobar trying to move him over is late on that fastball.
Tell you another thing, that David Cooper is making life easy on the manager. John Farrell doesn't have to consider pinch hitting for David Cooper against left-hand pitching. He's been that good.
And that's huge when you have a 3-man bench. Gose is breaking to third. Escobar flies to right. Rios is going to make the catch. Gose is going to have to hurry to get back, and he does, just ahead of the throw. Boy, Escobar had to see the great jump at second. It would have been a great time to take a pitch.
One thing that can get lost in plays like this is the fake at third base. There goes Gose. See the fake by Kevin Youkilis? He pretends he's got a ground ball that he's dealing with, trying to get Gose to come around that bag at third base. And in this scenario, Gose able to make the right read. At least he must have been able to hear Brian Butterfield sounding off.
Boy, Gose had a good jump. Gose doesn't really know where the ball is. You can see Youkilis playing it as though he had fielded a ground ball.
And you could also see Brian Butterfield there sounding off and pointing to right field. And I think that's what Anthony finally was able to read.
Boy, says Sierra goes after the first pitch. Sierra singled to the shortstop his last time up. He's 1 for 3. One-run ball game. Tying run at second.
Talking about David Cooper and his success against the lefties, that hit puts him at or above the 300 mark. Against left-hand pitching, he's actually been better against them than the righties.
Sierra takes one inside off the plate. The one thing that has really impressed John Farrell about David Cooper is the quality of the pitchers that he's getting hits against. And anytime you're getting hits in the 7th and 8th, you're up against the setup guy and the closer often.
We always heard in the minor leagues what a sound hitter he was with his approach and all, and you can see it at bat after at bat. He just has a nice stroke. Doesn't run well at all, and that certainly costs him on occasions.
Moises Sierra facing Matt Thornton against Jake Peavy in last night's game. Leading off the set, he hit a milestone home run, his first big league homer.
You always want to get that first hit, but once you get that under your belt and you're actually swinging it well, as Moises has been, you want that first home run, and he crushed it.
Little looping liner off the glove of Beckham, but he's going to be able to make the play. Gose scrambled back toward second after taking a step toward third. Blue Jays have already had a runner doubled up on a line drive tonight.
Anthony Gose has to read this, and he reads it well. You never can allow yourself to get doubled up on a line drive to the infield. And had he not read it well and taken off, that play by Beckham, or the missed play, could have certainly hurt the White Sox considerably.
So John Farrell will use the bench a little more. Yan Gomes will come off the bench to pinch hit for Kelly Johnson. Pierzynski out to talk about Gomes. And now Ventura has made a very slow walk toward the mound.
I think this is all about buying time to get the right-hander in to face Gomes.
There's the call to the bullpen. They take the ball from Matt Thornton. So one more time, the White Sox bullpen will be called upon. Brett Myers got out of the 8th inning when he retired Edwin Encarnacion. Matt Thornton starts the 8th, gives up a double, and then records 2 outs. Now Addison Reed will come out of the bullpen. Dwayne Murphy going to the scouting report. When we come back, it'll be Reed against Yan Gomes. We'll go to the mound tomorrow in Game 3 of this 4-game set against the Chicago White Sox. Romero was much better against the New York Yankees last time out. He went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, but just 2 earned runs. It'll all start right here on Sportsnet tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the pregame show. That's 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Ricky Romero will go to the mound to take on the Chicago White Sox. New pitcher for Chicago is Addison Reed. Big, powerful right-hander is their closer into this ball game to try to pick up a 4-out save. Tying run at second, Anthony Gose. Pinch hitter is Yan Gomes. There goes Gose. Strike is taken. Gose moves to third. It's a stolen base for Gose.
And John Farrell knew exactly what was going on with the right-hander throwing in the pen, and he opted to have Yan Gomes face the right-hander rather than Kelly Johnson, the left-hander.
0-1 outside. These call-ups from AAA have been called upon in key situations. David Cooper got it started with a leadoff double here in the 8th. Anthony Gose comes in to pinch run, steals his 6th base of the season, and now Yan Gomes with a 1-1 count.
Well, it's hard to imagine how you take that pitch in an RBI situation, trying to get back even in the ball game, and Colby Rasmus has been missed. It is official.
1-2, 2 outs. Gomes strikes out. Addison Reed comes out of the bullpen to end the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays get a leadoff double, but can't do anything with it. Addison Reed pours the fastball by Yan Gomes. We'll go to the 9th. Chicago with a 3-2 lead. MasterCard from Capital One. And tonight we'll take a look at inside the numbers for Adam Dunn, the all-time home run list. Dunn is 52nd on that list with 398. He's tied Dale Murphy. He passed Joe Carter last night with his first home run. He hit 2 in that ball game. Barry Bonds, Andres Galarraga, 399. Al Kaline, 399 as well. Yan Gomes takes over defensively at first. Mike McCoy's at second, and Anthony Gose is in center. Adam Dunn ducks back from an inside hitter. Aaron Loup had a 1-2-3 8th inning.
As you talk about Adam Dunn, that home run, the second one last night, gave him his 1,000th career RBI.
Boy, he's been some power hitter. His 32nd multi-home run game. That's 10th among active players. This time he bounces the ball, and Mike McCoy is going to have to come after and shovel quickly to Gomes for the out. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Connected. Here's Ryan Leslie and Ivanka Osmak. Aaron Loup gets a big attaboy from the skipper, John Farrell. He retires all 4 White Sox he faced. And he'll turn things over to Chad Jenkins. Jenkins has been a nice surprise since joining the club from Double-A. So Chad Jenkins will be into the ballgame with 1 out here in the 9th, and he'll be matched up against Kevin Youkilis. following the Jays as we continue our MLB coverage with the Cleveland Indians visiting the LA Angels of Anaheim. West Coast Baseball on Sportsnet Pacific and Sportsnet West. That's tonight following the Blue Jays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Ubaldo Jimenez goes to the mound for the Indians. He'll be opposed by Zach Greinke for the Angels. Chad Jenkins, first pitch to Kevin Youkilis is a good one. Youkilis is 1 for 3 tonight. A single in his last at bat. Bouncing ball wide of third. Echeverria throws out Youkilis. 2 down. Boy, this bullpen has certainly taken on a totally different look since they've turned it over.
Chad Jenkins, one of the youngsters, but a youngster who's taking advantage, as Aaron Loup has. Aaron Loup probably at the head of the list, but those new arms that have come on have just turned this around. And you heard John Farrell talk about how it's really made it a new ballgame. And I think as you head toward next year, that bullpen can be a strength of this team.
Lots of power arms down in that bullpen, a lot of strikeouts, and they can get through the later innings very quickly. A.J. Pierzynski lines out to the shortstop. Chad Jenkins comes in and retires the 2 batters he's faced. The bullpen has been exceptional throughout this series. But the Blue Jays will bat in the bottom of the 9th. They trail by a run. Jeff Mathis, 1 for 3 tonight. Danny Echeverria had a double his last time up, and Rajay Davis has been on base 4 times tonight. Won an extra innings last night. They're going to have to score a run if they want to get back in this ball game. Kobe Rasmus has come off the bench and looks like he's going to pinch hit for the number 9 hitter, Danny Echeverria. Rasmus was pulled out of the game on Friday night with a recurrence of that groin problem. He left the game in the top of the 7th inning. He has been swinging. He took batting practice today. And John Farrell told us earlier he was available to pinch hit. Well, Jeff Mathis has gone 1 for 3, lined out to center his last time up. Addison Reed retired the final batter in the 8th. Mathis drives it to right. Should be an easy play for Rios. First down. First out in the 9th.
Colby's become a very popular player here, and for good reason. Terrific defensive player And on that offensive side, he has regrouped this year. 20 bombs.
1 for 1 as a pinch hitter this season. And that's what you want from your pinch hitter. Come off the bench swinging.
So I felt like Jan Gomes got himself in a hole in the previous inning as he came on and had a set up, put himself with 2 strikes at the plate. You want to get your hacks early.
Inside, a ball and a strike.
White Sox have some good arms at the back of this bullpen.
They've really fortified it with the acquisition of Brett Myers, who worked a third of an inning, closed out the 7th. Base hit left field. Kobe Erasmus will jog to first base as Wise kicks it around a bit. But now you have to imagine that Erasmus might yield to the pinch runner. And sure enough, here comes Omar Vizquel off the bench. Rasmus delivers with the pinch hit single. And Vizquel will take over.
Great sight to see Colby get back in there and have some success right away. A little less so to see that just really can't go on the legs, and it's a tough scenario when you decide to get him in, and rumors that he might DH tomorrow.
One out. Rajay Davis has had a perfect night. Single, double, single, and walk. Has also stolen a couple of bases and scored a run. Omar Vizquel. I wouldn't really expect him to try a straight steal here in this situation. Davis takes the strike. Popped up outside of first. Dunn is there, makes the catch. 2 outs. So Blue Jays are down to their final out. Vizquel at first. Mike McCoy will step in the batter's box.
Tough when you're short on the bench and you don't really have somebody that can burn it on the base paths from that bench side.
They already used him. Anthony Ghost back in the 8th. Pitch downstairs for a ball. That ball is hit toward the gap. Rios over in the gap, makes a running catch, and the game is over. McCoy hit it hard, but it hung up for the right fielder, and the White Sox win this one in regulation 3-2.
Well pitched ball game by Henderson Alvarez. Tough to come out on the losing side. The Blue Jays played well, and really for me the one key moment on the night with the bases loaded, Edwin Encarnacion, the guy you wanted at the plate, hung out the line shot, and it was caught by Youkilis and turned into an inning-ending double play.
Well, these two clubs have split the first 2 games of this 4-game series. Big play by Youkilis. We'll be back tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Ryan Leslie, Ivanka Osbeck coming right up. Connected.